From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Thank you for staying with us this Saturday evening. I am Niranjan. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on the long-form story, we come to you with 5 headlines that have dominated the conversation in the last 1 week. First up on the show tonight, there is an anti-immigration movement that is unfolding in Australia. And against whom? The Indians. The very diaspora that is pumping in billions into the Australian economy every year. More on that tonight on the show. Secondly, what is the Suchir Balaji case truth? Was he murdered, as Elon Musk says he was? Claims versus counterclaims, and there is a Sam Altman interview adding the twist to it. More questions than answers. Republic has the big exclusives on that. And next up, on the show tonight, we are pushing hard to bring them back. Those who looted taxpayer money and took off without realizing that sometime the law would catch up with them. Mehul Choksi, Nirav Modi, Vijay Mallya, their time has come. And then we deep dive into the world of glitz, or rather the underbelly that has for long remained suppressed under stardom. What is the multi-crore case in which Shilpa Shetty and Raj Kundra are embroiled? That, and finally, the breach at the heart of Mumbai's Navy Nagar. This is the story of how the country's most guarded base fell to an insider's betrayal. All of that coming up on the show, on the long-form story tonight. The Indian community in Australia is a thriving diaspora and the largest migrant group in Australia, which has now found itself specifically mentioned in official pamphlets of an anti-immigration rally. Tens of thousands of Australians have taken to the streets on the 31st of August in what they called the March for Australia, organized under the banner of opposing mass migration. These rallies have swept through major cities from Sydney to Melbourne, raising concerns about rising anti-immigrant sentiment. Now, these marches come at a time when India and Australia are deepening economic and strategic ties, adding an extra layer of concern. Here's a long-form story detailing what unfolded, what it could mean for Indians in Australia, and whether it borders on racism.
Australia for years has been a land of promise for Indian students chasing dreams. For families seeking stability and for professionals building futures. From temples in Sydney's Harris Park to cricket clubs in Melbourne, Indians have a rhythm of belonging there. Today, the Indian-born community numbers over 9 lakhs, making up 3.4% of Australia's population, a figure that has doubled in just 10 years. Indians are not just Australia's second largest migrant group, they are among its most educated and among the most active in its workforce. But growth doesn't always mean acceptance. Beneath the surface of Australia's growth story, the social fabric of this multicultural nation is now showing the cracks. On 31st August 2025, Australia saw coordinated March for Australia rallies sweep through its major cities, including Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, Canberra, Hobart, Darwin, and Cairns, along with several regional centres. Organised under the banner of opposing mass migration, the marches brought thousands of protesters to the streets, holding placards and chanting hateful anti-immigrant slogans like "Take our country back," "Stop mass migration now," and "Send them back," against what they describe as uncontrolled immigration. But one thing that stood out was the specific targeting of Indians. An Indian-born man stepped up at Melbourne's March for Australia rally, hoping to speak out. But almost immediately, the crowd turned on him. He was shoved aside and the microphone was ripped from his hand.
So, I want to say that yes, I'm a brown man. Yes, I'm an immigrant from India. But I came here for the right reason. I came here by the right path. To enjoy the culture of Australia. To live by the work ethics of Australia. And to contribute to the economy of Australia.
Many in the Indian community here insist that Australia, by and large, remains welcoming, and that such rallies are the work of fringe groups.
It was a rally, no doubt about it, but there was a very small fragment of people who were part of the rally, and it was being sponsored by some of the neo-Nazi people out here who have been a very minor percentage of the population who have always tried to bring up racist agitations or movements. And it was not only them who were part of it. So, for example, in Sydney, it was more of a response to a rally which was held on the Harbour Bridge in favor of Palestine. And in Melbourne, it was more of the local issues which were there, some crime incidents which happened. So it was a collective thing.
It was a very unfortunate way of expressing themselves. Everyone has a right to protest in Australia, so there's nothing wrong in having a protest. But the way it was targeting the migrant communities, and especially one of the posters which they issued beforehand, which mentioned that Indian Australians are coming there in huge numbers, much bigger than what Greeks and Italians came in 1960s and 70s. That was little like putting a target on the backs of Indian Australians.
The Australian government, in a release, distanced itself from the rallies. The Anthony Albanese administration criticised the anti-immigration rally organised on the 31st of August. The government stressed on the multicultural ethos of Australia. But not all voices in Australia condemned the rallies. And while the Albanese government distanced itself, sanctions of the opposition gave legitimacy to the marchers, turning fringe slogans into political talking points.
You know, on Sunday, there is supposed to be this march for Australia. For those Australians out there that do want to go out and have their say and wave the Australian flag, good on you. I congratulate you because you're standing up for the values that you feel have been stripped from you by governments, whether it's this government or previous governments, former governments. You just feel that you're not being listened to. And this country is not the country that I grew up in. I'm ashamed of where we're headed. All this wokeness, the escalating crime, the cost of living, high electricity costs, the decline in our moral values that is happening, all this transgender rubbish and what's going on with women, spaces, it's just absolutely disgusting.
The Indian Ministry of External Affairs has taken serious cognizance of the event and emphasized on the safety and well-being of Indian citizens abroad.
Received a formal response from the Australian side where they acknowledged that the protests in Australia may be of concern for Australia's diverse communities. At the same time, you would have seen that senior leaders and politicians, both from the Australian government side and also from the opposition side, they have issued statements supporting the multicultural identity of Australia.
While Australians took to the streets rallying against what they called mass immigration, in India, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal announced that India is in deep negotiations to create 1 million homes in Australia.
Because we've been in continuous dialogue with Australia, and now they inform us that there is a shortage of 1 million homes in Australia. 1 million homes. Just do the math on 1 million homes and you'll realize the mind-boggling opportunity.
Just last year, Varun Ghosh, the first Indian-born senator, took his oath on the Bhagavad Gita, a symbol of inclusion and belonging.
Senator Ghosh, please take the Bhagavad Gita in your right hand and recite the oath on the card handed to you.
I, Varun Ghosh, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors according to law. So help me God.
And this year, just 2 months ago, on the 23rd of July, an Indian couple was harassed by locals in Australia. The wife was heckled, the husband beaten and humiliated. The rallies also tie into a larger global trend. From Ireland to the United States and the United Kingdom, reports of racial hate and hate crimes against Indians have been on the rise. For a diaspora that bridges two democracies, the question is urgent. Can Australia's multicultural promise withstand the politics of exclusion?
Suchir Balaji was a brilliant young AI researcher. One of the brightest, they say, in the AI industry, a rising star in Silicon Valley, who had warned the world about the risks of advanced artificial intelligence. He spent 4 years at OpenAI, the makers of ChatGPT, before quitting the company over ethical concerns and preparing to go public with research that could have exposed serious legal infringements by OpenAI. In late November 2024, after picking up his dinner, he was found dead in his apartment in San Francisco, America. Police have now called it a suicide, but his family and friends have been strongly disagreeing in almost the last 1 year. They've been challenging the official narrative, fighting this almost $1 trillion tech empire for answers. And tonight, on the LongForm Story, we will take a closer look at his life, his work, and the mystery surrounding the untimely death/murder, and why Sam Altman's answers on Suchir Balaji aren't making sense tonight.
Suchir was born in Orlando, Florida in November 21st, 1998. He celebrated his 26th birthday. 2-year-old Suchir. We took him to Half Moon Bay and he loved it. And this is a happy 3-year-old toddler. He was a bundle of joy. We went to Yosemite and he used to run ahead of us. 4-year-old preschool, he went on the complete nation. Then this is our 5-year-old in Legoland.
A brilliant whiz kid, Suchir Balaji summed up the above-average intelligent Indian growing up in the United States of America. He grew up and was groomed in the Silicon Valley to tech parents Purnima Ramarao and Balaji.
his Minecraft champ that he got his mom to buy him. But this guy was the smartest guy.
His friends describe him as the smartest person they met, a genius at programming, who eventually went on to shape artificial intelligence as we know it today. He worked at OpenAI for 4 years between 2020 and 2024. Suchir Balaji knew what AI was capable of. He also knew something was amiss. He didn't agree with what OpenAI was about to do, and that's why he said, if you believe what I believe, you have to just leave the company. In the second half of 2024, Suchir Balaji decided to go public against OpenAI. He gave interviews. He published detailed research notes on why and how Sam Altman's OpenAI was about to create the biggest legal infringement in the history of modern technology. He was about to become a witness in American courts. And Suchir Balaji was armed with documents to back his case. November 26th, 2024. This video of Suchir Balaji collecting his dinner and walking into his apartment would be the last time he was seen. He was found dead a few minutes after this video. The police in San Francisco has termed it suicide. How could a boy full of life, on the verge of a big expose, kill himself? It was anything but that.
Yeah, I've closely examined the crime scene photographs. I've seen the autopsy pictures. I've seen the body. I've seen the reports given by the medical examiner's office. And after all these observations, I did give my report on the crime scene and the autopsy. A lot of observations I put, which has been handed over to even Tucker Carlson. And also the report was forwarded to the FBI.
Suchir Balaji's parents have been waging a lonely battle for almost 10 months now, against the system that ruled it a suicide, against a $1 trillion empire, ironically, that Suchir himself helped build.
Suchir's WebGPT research paper turned into ChatGPT that he's taking and selling around the world. And for such an employee, he should be spending money for investigation. He should be gearing up the police to help us do the investigation. We didn't talk to him because we know the complete truth. We know his personality from Suchir. So when he offered to talk to us, we didn't talk to him.
It's taken Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, almost 10 months to break his silence on Suchir Balaji. In an interview to an American journalist, Altman says he's convinced Suchir Balaji, who he calls his friend, committed suicide. When Altman is questioned on how someone would just shoot himself minutes after picking up dinner, looking completely normal, his response leaves most people shocked. Sam Altman said, "People order food they like before they commit suicide."
And also, another statement he makes is, people who commit suicide, they eat dinner.
I heard that. I have the exact quote. Wait, I have the exact quote. He says, people order food they like before they commit suicide. I'm not kidding. He actually said, Sam Altman says, people order food they like before they commit suicide. Now, the reason why, there is a video of Suchir coming through the elevator. There's food in his hand. He gets his dinner perhaps. And he seems completely normal, casual, enters the residence. That's the last time we see him. No, that's exactly what even the interviewer was asking him. He's completely normal. And then Sam Altman says, people order food they like before they commit suicide.
So, you know what people are telling me in Twitter? They're saying, mother should test that food. What was mixed in this food? Why is he talking about the food? You know what I'm saying, right? it's controversial. If he brings something like that, then he knows more than what we know. Everything he's speaking points to things that he knows more than what we know. And he says Suchir was a friend. No, Suchir was not his friend. We can dispute it based on his journal. We can dispute it based on what he shared with his friend during the last week of his life. And HR has written a letter. In this email, they say Sam never interacted with Suchir directly. How can he call him a friend?
After I saw the interview of Salman Altman with Tucker Carlson, what I noticed some strangeness in the interview was, though Sam Altman was Suchir's employer and he boasts of Suchir being a so-called colleague, but I didn't notice the role he played as an employer or a colleague. That is, he would have extended all assistance for this particular case to be reinvestigated. That which I don't see the active role he played in this direction.
A bright student in his 20s, Suchir Balaji was considered a genius in the American tech and AI circles. Even before the AI boom hit us, the technology he was working on has today shaken up billions of people around the world, changing how we live, work and think. Look at these videos, for example. They have all been generated by artificial intelligence. Videos created from the photos available of Suchir Balaji and from his younger days. Everyone loved him. He was brave. Did his bravery then do him in?
His Minecraft champ, he got his mom to buy him, but this guy was the smartest guy.
Signs of struggle. Food half eaten at the dining table. House ransacked. It's suspicious. Were contract killers hired to silence Suchir Balaji in San Francisco? In the last few days, we've seen the murder of Charlie Kirk. I don't want to draw, there is no parallel between that and this, but it's crazy how people just get away with murder in America.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And it's very, very sad that he's just 5 years older than Suchir, 31-year-old.
Yeah.
Very happy man with 2 young kids, 1-year-old and 3-year-old, a young wife. I don't know what to say. People have this ability to speak and they want to speak the truth and their life is taken.
Yeah, many similarities. I mean, both were young, both spoke their mind, both were brave.
I think both are executions.
Yeah, of course. That's what we've been saying. Yeah.
I'm hoping it's the same party. If it's the same party, when they dig, ours will also come out.
Same party?
Possible.
In November this year, the family of Suchir Balaji will mark 1 year since their only child was taken away from them. In America, Elon Musk has been the only support for Purnima Ramarao and Balaji. The SpaceX and Tesla founder believes Suchir Balaji was murdered. 1 year on, sadly, Trump's America is in no mood for some reason to give this OpenAI whistleblower justice. For years, some of India's richest frauds have flaunted wealth beyond imagination. From private jets to Ferraris, diamonds, yachts, they've looted billions and vanished across borders overnight. But now the chase is closing in, with India pressing for extradition, transparency, and justice. Tonight, we trace the fall of the king of good times. That's what he was called before he left India. The diamond merchant and others who thought they could dodge the law in India. This is the story of luxury, lies, and the long arm of justice, as jails in India, Tihar, Arthur Road, await India's fugitives.
India is coming down hard and sharp. on the outrageously rich fraudsters who looted hard-working citizens and vanished across borders. But now, the chase is tightening. With full transparency and diplomatic reassurances from the Indian government, global authorities are being urged to act. For too long, power, privilege, and obscene displays of wealth helped these fugitives dodge justice. One excuse used to the hilt: that Indian prisons aren't safe enough for those who plundered the innocent. A bitter, ironic shield now cracking under pressure. The so-called king of good times once fancied himself a youth icon, a self-proclaimed catalyst for change. 12 years ago, sweating it out in Bengaluru while campaigning for the Janata Party, he boldly claimed he wanted nothing from the public. Because in his words, he already had everything. Turns out, he meant that quite literally. The fall rattled the empire. The king of good times tumbled from his throne and into the boiling waters of his own deceit. It all started with two massive bank fraud cases. Rupees 6,777 crore gone. And then he knocked on London's doors, not for business, but for a desperate refuge. The battle shifted to London with the CBI and ED seeking his extradition. Within 3 years, Indian agencies convinced UK courts that Mallya had laundered money. This diamond tear shone brighter than his own diamonds. Nirav Modi's craft caught the limelight when Hollywood sweethearts like Kate Winslet and Dakota Johnson glittered in his creations. From there, it was onwards and upwards for Modi, soon crowned as the Indian jeweler who put India on the global map, for all the wrong reasons. What was glittering wasn't gold. This Desi jeweler was running a murky business beneath all the sparkle. In 2018, Nirav Modi was charged by the CBI and ED with defrauding a consortium of banks of rupees 6,498 crore. A series of foreign dummy companies in Hong Kong and Dubai were used for round-tripping. Like Mallya, Nirav also fled to London. In London, Nirav Modi kept changing his location to evade agencies.
Case that is being registered in India, and hence I just wanted to get their version.
A case?
Yeah.
What case?
It's a bank fraud case that has been registered against them.
A bank fraud case?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because did you also come? Was there another lady who came? I mean, her name is here. She does YouTube.
No, I
is
have
that
no idea.
no connection?
I have no idea.
So you just work for that TV channel. So are you connected with anyone else?
No, I'm part of the. I'm a senior news editor with the channel.
Acting on CBI and ED requests, Scotland Yard arrested him in March 2019. Since then, UK courts have rejected his bail pleas 4 times. With no legal options left, Nirav has once again appealed against his extradition. Like Nirav, his family members Nehal and Nishal face the same fate. Nehal has been arrested in the US with extradition underway. Nishal, tracked by the Republic TV in Belgium, faces extradition in the UAE.
Nisha, just wanted to check with you, since you're in London, would it be possible to meet you?
Who are you?
Sorry?
Who are you?
Nisha, this is Shaban. I'm basically from Republic.
Please, Shaban bhai, please. Excuse me, please leave me out of this.
Another diamond tear on the run. The elusive uncle of Nirav Modi, Mr. Mehul Choksi, a master of the cat and mouse game with the investigating agencies. Choksi has been dodging justice since 2018. Charged in multiple cases, the crown jewel being the infamous rupees 14,000 crore PNB scam that looted the savings of hard-working Indians. He slipped out of the country like the Peter Pan of Neverland, refusing to grow up and face the law. First fleeing to Antigua, then making a dramatic detour to Dominica, only to be sent back. The chase continued until 2024, when he finally landed in Belgium and straight into the hands of the law after a CBI and ED extradition request. Arms dealer Sanjay Bhandari vanished from India and was last seen at the Paris Air Show. In 2019, Republic TV tracked him to central London. Accused in money laundering case involving Robert Vadra, Sonia Gandhi's son-in-law, Bhandari operated a complex web of financial crimes.
Why don't you give me an interview? Interview पूछना पड़ेगा मेरे को लॉयर से, पर मैं तुम्हें क्वेश्चंस का जवाब दूँ, वो भी मैं पूछूंगा. I would love to do that. But the problem है कि तुम रिपब्लिक से आ गए हो.
What's common among these luxury-loving fugitives? The looming barracks of Mumbai's Arthur Road jail, a destination they've all desperately tried to dodge. Their golden excuse? That Indian prisons are somehow too harsh for their fraud-fatigued souls. Playing the human rights card, they've learnt hard on foreign sympathy, especially from European courts, ever so concerned about conditions behind the bars. It's the perfect script. Cry foul, cite inhumane treatment, and hope the European moral compass spins just enough to block extradition. After all, nothing says justice like defending billionaires who looted the poor from the comfort of a London townhouse or Belgian flat. This is exactly what India addressed this month in a letter from the Ministry of Home Affairs to the Belgian authorities. The assurances were crystal clear. No human rights would be violated. These brightly lit passages and rooms could soon house these fugitives. India has aggressively pursued fugitives. The latest is Munwar Khan, charged with bank fraud. The CBI brought him back from Kuwait. In the last few years, 130 fugitives have been brought back using Interpol channels. And when all else fails, there's always the British asylum system, the ultimate escape hatch for these hedonistic fraudsters. Men who plundered thousands using glitter, glam, and a sprinkle of celebrity charm. Somehow, ironclad diplomatic assurances from India melt away in the face of European snootiness. As if their concern for human rights conveniently ignores the misery of real victims back home. In the end, Europe becomes a sanctuary, not for the oppressed, but for the well-dressed thieves who looted a nation and now sips lattes in exile. Justice, it seems, is blind, but only when wearing European sunglasses.
Bollywood is facing a storm of scandals unlike anything before. There's a television star called Ashish Kapoor. He's facing sexual assault charges in the national capital. While at the center of another massive controversy are businessman Raj Kundra and his star wife Shilpa Shetty, both accused of siphoning off 60 crore from a businessman based in Mumbai. Now, these cases expose a web of financial fraud, legal battles, and celebrity privilege that has long shielded the guilty. And tonight, we peel back the glittering facade of India's film industry to reveal the dark truth beneath, with, by the way, they are most often in denial on. This is our long-form story on Bollywood.
How do you know Ketan Khanna received any commission in this case? Was there any political influence in this case?
कौन सा allegation है? Made by Rajiv Kothari. You have been summoned by EOW. Are you going?
Money laundering, rape, fraud. The dark, sinister underbelly of Bollywood is being ripped open again. 3 high-profile scandals in just 1 year. It began with the fall of forgotten actor Dino Morea, followed by shocking rape allegations against television actor Ashish Kapoor. And now, the spotlight turns again onto the controversial empire of the Kundras. Big names, bigger secrets. The city of dreams is now once again shadowed by scandals. Businessman Raj Kundra and his star wife Shilpa Shetty was summoned by the Economic Offences Wing. They were accused of defrauding a business partner. ₹60 crores, one business partner, two Bollywood names at the center. Raj Kundra and Shilpa Shetty now face serious allegations from business partner Deepak Kothari, who accuses the power couple of massive financial fraud. But the bigger question remains, how did the Kundras get into this mess? And more importantly, how did they manage to stay untouched for so long?
The allegations are very clear. They approached our client Mr. Deepak Kothari for a loan. They thereafter, using their aura, they influenced him. They made representations to him that instead of a loan, you please structure it as an investment which will have benefits and taxation for you, as well as it will help us to take this. Mr. Deepak Kothari is a known industrialist. He also runs a non-banking finance company, a NBFC, and therefore they had approached him through a mediatory to get loan for their company.
Deepak Kothari drops a bombshell. Between 2015 and 2023, he claims Raj Kundra and Shilpa Shetty siphoned off 60 crore rupees. Instead of expansion, Deepak Kothari alleges that funds meant to grow their venture Best Deal TV simply vanished. Deepak Kothari claims Shilpa Shetty resigned from Best Deal TV in 2016 and told him so over a single email. So why is she now neck deep in a 60 crore fraud case? Was she really out or never out at all?
Shilpa Shetty, who was the director of that Best TV Private Limited when she got the loan, in 2016 she mailed to Deepak Kothari that she resigned from that company. Is it right?
Yes, one day prior she did send an email, but there was a tag along right. It's a detailed matter. If you go through the papers, these are technicalities which of course the investigating agency, to ensure that justice is done irrespective of the celebrity status, and we hope that justice is done irrespective of the celebrity status, an appropriate investigation and due process of law is followed. Somebody being a celebrity should not get benefit of being a celebrity. Process of law should be followed and should be strictly followed as it is done in other matters.
Raj Kundra, a businessman and a husband of Bollywood actor Shilpa Shetty, has been summoned by Economic Offence Wing Mumbai Police in connection with cheating of rupees 60 crore, and the summons received by Raj Kundra initially asked to appear before 10 September, but Raj Kundra requested an extension and finally is scheduled for 15 September, Monday.
This isn't the first time the Kundras have landed under the police scanner. In 2021, Raj Kundra was arrested for allegedly producing and distributing pornographic content. Back in 2024, Raj Kundra fiercely defended his wife's name as the spotlight turned to her once again during his adult films scandal. Despite the cases filed against him left, right and centre, the arrogance of his star status and vulgar display of his wealth refuses to cease.
Raj Kundra, what is your response?
कौन सा allegation मैम?
Made by Rajiv Kothari.
आ जाएगा बात जल्दी. एक सेकंड.
So you have been summoned by EOW.
Thank you.
Are you going?
But Raj Kundra is far from the only player shielding Bollywood's glittering facade. When Dino Moria was hauled before the administration over the Methi River scam, he avoided our tough questions and slammed the door in our faces, silence louder than any denial.
Is Ketan Kadam is your business partner? Do you know? Please answer the question. Do you know is Ketan Kadam your business partner? Did you introduce Ketan Kadam to BMC? Did you use any political influence to introduce Ketan Kadam to BMC? Do you know? There are some transaction between you and Ketan Kadam. What is your answer? What is your answer on that? Do you know what is your answer on that?
So what we're going to do is you go first.
Is Ketan Kadam your business partner? What do you say on these serious allegations against you, do you know? Can you say something? Do you know Moria? Do you know Moria?
In another case, a celebrated TV serial actor has been pulled into a 14-day custody over allegations of horrifying sexual assault charges in Delhi. Now out on bail, but the investigation is far from over.
And so, when did you arrest the main accused in connection with the case?
Yeah, the main accused was arrested on Tuesday from Pune.
Right. And since how long you have been looking for him? Because he has evaded national capital and then he went to Goa. Yeah. Did he also visit Mumbai?
Mumbai we don't know, but yes, his location earlier he was absconding, then his location was traced to Goa, then we reached Goa, but then he slipped away from Goa, then he was location was traced to Pune, and then we reached Pune and were able to arrest him.
Did the accused accept that he committed this crime?
Usually that is all part of investigation, I cannot reveal it here.
So far, did you recover any CCTV footage from that?
Yes, CCTV footages were recovered, witness testimonies are there. There are evidences which are relevant to the investigation of the case.
इसके अंदर बहुत सारे आधार हैं. इसके अंदर एक तो इन्वेस्टिगेशन टेंटेड है और जिस मैनर के अंदर एफआईआर लॉन्च हुई और जिस तरह के जो एलिगेशन है सस्टेनेबल एलिगेशंस नहीं थे और इन्वेस्टिगेशन के अंदर जिस तरह से इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसी फाउल प्ले कर रही थी, बहुत सारे इसके अंदर और भी ग्राउंड थे जिसके को बेस बनाते हुए बेल ग्रांट हुई है. इसके अंदर जो एलिज ये किया गया था कि भाई 1 by 1 4 लोगों ने उनको रेप करा है और उसके बाद उनकी वीडियो भी शूट करी है, लेकिन इंसिडेंट के बाद की और इंसिडेंट से पहले की जो वीडियो हैं वो कुछ और सजेस्ट कर रही थी इसके अंदर.
The Mumbai police had filed an FIR and issued a lookout circular against Raj Kundra and Shilpa Shetty, preventing them from leaving the country. Authorities had launched a detailed probe examining company records and financial transactions. The case, however, remains under intense scrutiny.
देखिए, सारे एलिगेशंस झूठे हैं. इस एलिगेशंस में कोई भी ट्रुथ नहीं है. अभी तक एफआईआर की कॉपी हमारे पास आई नहीं है. जब एफआईआर की कॉपी हमारे पास आएगी तो हमको पता चलेगा एग्जैक्ट एलिगेशंस क्या है. उस बेसिस पे हम लोग आगे का रिकॉर्स लीगल रेमेडी जो भी होगा उसको हम अडॉप्ट करेंगे. लेकिन आपको मैं बताना चाहता हूँ कि ये ट्रांजैक्शन काफ़ी पुराना है, 7-8 साल पुराना ट्रांजैक्शन है. अगर किसी को भी लगता है कि उनके साथ गलत हुआ है, उनको किसी को भी लग रहा है कि मुझे चीट किया गया, वो 8-10 साल नहीं रुकता कंप्लेंट करने के लिए.
Though the Kundras remain steadfast in claiming their innocence, with scandal after scandal erupting, how long can Bollywood mask its ugly underbelly behind glitz and glamour when the stench keeps seeping through its closet of buried bones?
A chilling breach at the heart of Mumbai's Navy Nagar, India's most secure residential naval compound. Two brothers, one of them an Agniveer, manage to slip through the tightest of checks, steal a rifle, smuggle it out by throwing it over the compound. The Navy calls it human failure, but how did the country's most guarded base fall to an insider's betrayal? Tonight, we bring you the long-form story.
Mumbai's Navy Nagar is a fortress within a city. It is a home to officers, sailors, and their families. Security here is considered impenetrable. But on the 6th of September, that fortress was breached. A rifle along with ammunition disappeared from a sentry post. The theft shook the Navy and raised questions about how India's frontline defenders guard their own gate.
Right here in the heart of Mumbai's Kolaba, a high security Navy zone, a man pulled off what looks like a daring security breach. He tricked a Navy guard and managed to escape with one service rifle and incense, along with 40 live rounds of ammunition.
The men behind the breach? Two brothers, Rakesh and Umesh Dubula, hailing from Asifabad in Telangana. One of them, Rakesh, was serving as an Agniveer in the Indian Navy. The other, Umesh, worked odd jobs, including at a distillery.
The incident happened on the 6th of September, wherein there were two people involved. One of the persons went inside, impersonated as a person working in Navy, and then misled the sentry duty person, the person who was on sentry duty in one of the towers inside the Navy premises. And then he took the arms and ammunitions. One incense rifle was there, 3 magazines and 40 live bullets were there. He threw that across the wall nearby to the person standing on the road. And then he fled from that spot, came outside of the Navy premises, and again both together fled from Mumbai, and we were able to catch them from Telangana. The two accused are brothers. One is Rakesh Dubula and one is Umesh Dubula. Both are 25 and 22 years old, and one of them was working in Navy and is working in Navy, and the second person, he was working in his own district in Asifabad. He was doing a small-time job, running a shop.
The Navy was quick to acknowledge the breach. In a statement, the Western Naval Command admitted a rifle and ammunition had gone missing. A board of inquiry was also ordered, while Mumbai police launched a parallel investigation. The Navy insisted its security systems remained strong. The breach, they said, was a failure of one individual and not the institution.
Any breach, anywhere, any security breach anywhere is serious. There is no doubt about it. However small it may be, it is a serious breach. In this particular case, whilst I am not privy to what exactly happened, I don't know, other than what I have read in the media. Just before I retired, which was in 1994, I was the Naval Provost Marshal, in charge of that area, the security of that area myself. So I know exactly the geography of that place. Okay. But whilst the geography of that place hasn't changed, because it cannot change. You got water on 3 sides in the city of Mumbai, north of it, so it can't change. But the demography of that area and the skyline is totally changed. It is now humongous, you understand? And therefore, security now has become 10-fold more difficult than what it used to be during my time. I was invited by the commanding officer and officers to give a talk to the officers. This happened only a couple of weeks ago. At an appointed time, I went in my car. I was stopped at the gate by this smart sentry who was an Agniveer. I showed him my identity card, but he nodded his head. He says, "Aapka Aadhaar card dikhao." I was surprised. He said, "I'm a guest being invited by, I'm an ex-commanding officer of that establishment. I've shown my retired service officer's service card, going to a service establishment, and this boy says, "Aapka Aadhaar card dikhao." So I showed him my Aadhaar card. He took the Aadhaar card inside. He made a note of the number. See the level of security. He came back, but before giving me the card, he said, "Dicky kholo." He made me open my car dicky to see what was inside the dicky. Service officer, Aadhaar card, my identity card, wouldn't satisfy him. He saw everything and then he saluted me and let me go inside. See, that's the extent of security arrangements all over the Navy.
For locals living around Navy Nagar, the incident was nothing short of shocking.
सब जगह नहीं जा सकते, बिना पास के अंदर घुसने नहीं देते।
पास में क्या लगता है?
आधार कार्ड लगता है, सब कुछ लगता है।
नहीं, अच्छा दिख रहा है, अंदर सिक्योरिटी भी प्रॉपर चेक करके लेके जाते हैं अंदर, ऐसा सब सिस्टम चल रहा है।
सिक्योरिटी अच्छी है यहाँ पे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
मतलब अंदर ऐसे नहीं जाने दे रहे?
नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं,
कभी भी नहीं जाने देते?
नहीं, सिक्योरिटी अपनी जगह पे है, बाकी पब्लिक का जो अपना काम है अपने काम से आता जाता है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
किसी को भी अंदर घुसने नहीं देते?
किसी को नहीं जाने देते, कोई भी एक बच्चा को भी नहीं जाने देता है इधर।
But this is no ordinary case of theft. Investigators are probing whether one of the brothers, hailing from a Maoist-affected area, was influenced during a recent visit home. Was the breach an act of rebellion, or was it something darker?
Obviously, there is more than what meets the eye. Okay, why was this weapon chosen? But then you look back and even what the paper says, he comes from an area which is Naxal infected, you see, and he's gone home on leave, and he meets his friends, he meets his relatives, he meets his schoolmates, his classmates, his village people, and maybe some of them are Naxals themselves, and he's got influenced by. This is my thinking. Please understand. I plead guilty if I am saying wrong, but this is my understanding. He's gone home on leave. He gets influenced, and somebody says somebody brainwashes him maybe, or somebody holds him at ransom, whatever it is, and says, let's get us one rifle and some cartridges, because they need it, because they are fighting the state. If to fight a state, you need a weapon. That's their logic, and they have convinced him to get it, and then maybe he is in his own way said, "Oh, I can get you one."
Within days, Mumbai police cracked the case. Both brothers were tracked down outside Maharashtra and were arrested.
The arrested brothers are being brought to Mumbai for further interrogation and legal proceedings. Meanwhile, security around Navy Nagar and similar naval residential areas is being re-evaluated. Enhanced checks and identity validation and closer monitoring of personnel with prior access are likely to be key takeaways.
The Navy's Western Command released a second statement thanking Mumbai police for swift action. The breach at Navy Nagar leaves behind hard lessons. Security systems are only as strong as the humans who operate them. The Agniveer scheme is being defended, but questions remain about vetting, training, and the psychological pressures faced by young recruits. This is a story of a stolen weapon from the heart of naval residence in Mumbai, the financial capital of India. The Navy calls it a human error. But in a world where the smallest lapse can cost the biggest price, this breach is a reminder. Even the strongest walls can crumble from within if we aren't too careful. The question remains, if an insider could walk away with a weapon from Mumbai's most secure base, what stops a hostile hand from doing the same tomorrow? This is not just a theft, it is a wake-up call. A reminder that in the battle for national security, complacency is the enemy and vigilance is the only defense.
And that's it on this edition of the long-form story. In case you missed it, ladies and gentlemen, you can watch the entire episode once again on TV tomorrow, 12 p.m. or catch the 5 stories that we brought you on this episode on republicworld.com. Thanks for watching.